Hi guys, Christian here from the MCI Trading Academy, bring you a fresh stock market analysis outlook for the week ahead. And just before I start guys, if you are new to the channel and find our content useful, please consider subscribing. We do bring out a fresh stock market analysis outlook every single Monday morning. And if you do like this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It does help us a lot, and do share it with anyone else that may find this useful. Now, let's just go over what happened last week in the stock market. And it seems like the bulls were on a mission to literally squeeze out any short sellers, anyone that was trying to short the market last week. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, especially those of you that have been watching our videos over the last couple of weeks. Now, we did mention in our videos last couple of weeks how sentiment down here was very negative, was very bearish. Actually, the most negative sentiment reading ever recorded in the stock market. And normally when we get those kind of readings, we tend to get a strong rebound rally, which we did over the last couple of weeks. Now, we went from a very oversold condition here to a very overbought condition, especially if we look at this chart over here. So you can see here that at the end of May we were very oversold, and as it comes into the beginning of August we are very overbought, okay, which builds up the case for a rebound, which builds up the case for some sort of substantial pullback that we should see in the stock market in the next couple of weeks, either this week or the next couple of weeks. Now, we did discuss last week how this we were watching this level here, 4231 on the S&P 500, and how if we got a close above this level, a candlestick close above this level, we can say that the lows are in for the year. Why is that? Well, we were in a bear market, okay, because we dropped more than 20% off from the initial highs of the year, and in those bear markets we have what is called as bear market rallies. However, we have never had a bear market rally that was more than 50% the initial drop, okay, and this 50% level was here at 42.1. Now, because we got a candlestick close above this last week, we can say that perhaps we have seen the lows for the year. Now, that's not to say that we may not test those lows coming towards the end of the year. We have a lot of negative news, guys, okay? We still have a war going on, we have interest rates that are rising in the US, and we have a potential recession that may be coming, okay? So there's a lot of negative news that may bring this market down. Now, I did some research, okay, some work over the weekend on unfilled gaps. So what we have here is the real market, okay, the real S&P 500 market. And on here, okay, I've pointed out all the unfilled gaps that have been left since the beginning of the year. Okay, now you can see that in this rebound rally that we've had over the last couple of weeks, we have left a lot of unfilled gaps. Okay, so how is that? Well, we literally closed down here, okay, on the 17th of June, and we opened here, and then we started rallying up. Okay, we never had a chance to go back and fill those gaps. So any orders down here were never fulfilled, guys, were never processed. Okay, same here, we closed down here, and then we opened here, and then we rallied up, and so on and so forth, since this low was in on the 21st of June. Now, we do have some unfilled gaps here that were left from the beginning of the year. So we have 1, 2, 3 gaps that have been left since the beginning of the year. So I expect those gaps to be filled at some point this year. However, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unfilled gaps to the downside, guys. Now, this is not common at all. The most we normally have, it's about 2, 3, maximum 4 gaps, okay? Now, in this case, we have 7 gaps. So what I expect to happen, I expect the price to come down and fill some of those gaps in the next couple of weeks at most. Okay, so we may fill this gap coming into this week because we are very, very close to it. Now let's see how we open on Monday. And then I expect we will pull back down here and try to fill some of those gaps. Okay, they are crucial that we fill some of those gaps. It is very unhealthy that we keep going up and up and up, okay, and maybe creating even more gaps on the way. Okay, that is very unhealthy, that it's very unsustainable. Okay, so don't go into the form of trying to buy up here, okay, until we have seen a potential pullback, a substantial pullback, okay, to have the higher low. I know we've broken to the upside, we are bullish now, but we need to have the higher low. Okay, once we have the higher low and we fill some of those gaps, we can confidently go and place buy orders. In terms of what we should be looking out for the week ahead, now let's start off with the economic calendar, guys, and we have some potential market moving news on Wednesday. Okay, so on Wednesday we have the retail sales in the US. This is a crucial data point here, and we also have the FOMC meeting minutes, okay, on Wednesday at 7 o'clock UK time. Okay, so those are two of the news that we have to be watching out for this week. In terms of the charts, so let's go here and have a look. Let's start with the UK 100. So here we've been on a monster move up, okay, no questions about that. And we have been talking about this 8-hour IC here that we had from the beginning of June, and how we're expecting price to come back, fill some of those IPAs, and then potentially come and right in here. Okay, we could perhaps place a sell position. Now the price has perfectly came down here, okay, up here, and we are looking for some consolidation here before we take a sell position all the way down. Okay, I would like to target this trend line here, perhaps 7,200 or so. Okay, well, we do have the daily IC here, okay, that we can be looking out for. So quite a substantial move, a substantial trade if we do catch it at some point this week. So watch out for that. I think one catalyst to look out for is the 4-hour 20 and 50 EMH. You can see how the 20 and 50 have been holding out as nice support levels here, and if you see some sort of break of those, watch out for a retest, and then there you go, we have our short position right there. Next we got the DAX, the Germany 40, and this is at a critical level here, guys. It's right at this daily trend line here, okay, right at the daily trend line. So what I expect to happen from here, okay, I expect to see a rejection of this level and a nice potential short that we could have at some point perhaps this week. Okay, if we are rejecting this, it seems like we are rejecting it now. We just need to look out for some consolidation and some break of structure on a smaller time frame. Now we can see here we got a lot of divergences, okay, that are being created. Okay, so the momentum of the buyers is definitely slowing down, and we just need to wait. We just need to see some sort of break of structure. I will look for a break up below this level, okay, then a retest within the IC, and then we take a short position. Okay, we do have this 8-hour trend line here, so watch out to see if we break this down as well. Next we got US 30. Now we did break the structure on here, so we are definitely bullish on here. We did break the structure, we did break above this trend line here, so we are definitely bullish. What happened here last week? We finally broken above this level, and we cleared all that liquidity that was resting above there. We cleared the liquidity that was resting above there. Now we have some more liquidity resting above here as well, so it wouldn't be surprising for us to go clear the liquidity this week and then come back down. Now what I do expect to happen, I do expect to have a substantial pullback lower, and if we use our fib here from the low to the high, okay, then I expect price to come back perhaps in this daily IC here, okay, which is within our golden zone as well, and that is where I will potentially go long to new higher highs. Okay, so at this point, don't get into the FOMO, don't get the FOMO just yet. Okay, there is no reasons for us to go long here. We are way overextended. We are getting a lot of divergences that are being created here. Okay, so no reason for us to go long at this point. Okay, we've got a 4-hour IC here, so if price comes here and consolidate, perhaps that's our signal to go short. But until then, until we see at least a break of structure on a smaller time frame, so close below this level here, there is no reason to go short either. Okay, so it's just a matter of waiting. Now guys, the month of August is very, very difficult to trade. Why? Because the big players are out on holidays with their families this month, and there's the little guys that are controlling the buttons, okay, and they are not allowed to make any significant moves in the market. So I expect once the big boys are coming back from their holidays at the end of August, beginning of September, that's when we are going to have a substantial pullback. Not until then. So until then, we may see some sort of small pullback, but the big pullback will come back towards the end of August, beginning of September. Until then, it will be a bit difficult to trade. So we just have to be, careful with the moves. If there are any news, any potential bad news, negative news, okay, that may get all those algos to start selling off the stock market. But unless there's something that some sort of negative news, I won't expect a big pullback until at least the beginning of September. Next, we've got the US 100, and here we've got a break above this daily trend line here, and we finally cleared some of this liquidity here. Now we've got more liquidity resting, okay, above this level here. So I wouldn't be surprising for price to go up at some point this week, clear all that liquidity and consolidate within this IC here. Once we see that, okay, we can potentially go short and go short to retest this broken trend line at some point. Until then, we're getting again a lot of divergences, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, lower highs. So a lot of divergences are being created now, which suggests to us the momentum of the buyers is slowing down. So watch out for that. Next, we've got the US 500. Again, same situation here. We finally cleared this liquidity resting here. However, we've got more liquidity resting above here. So I wouldn't be surprised, okay, to see the liquidity being taken out at some point this week, then comes into the upper expected move for the week, and then perhaps get a short from here until to the end of the week of some sort. Okay, remember all those unfilled gaps that are sitting down here, guys. Yeah, and at that point, if we do get up this level here and to the upper expected move and to clear this liquidity, we do have the upper trend line here, okay, that we can perhaps get a sell short from if it's being rejected. Okay, so watch out for that. Again, we want to get a nice buy position long term, either from here or from here at some point. Okay, we have a lot of IPs that are sitting below here as well. Next, we got the dollar index, guys, and something that I find very, very interesting is that on Friday, the DXY, the dollar was going up and the stock market was going up, and that I don't think that will end up well. Okay, I think there's something very strange, very fishy going on here, so you have to be aware of. Now we did get a break of this trend line here. However, we are now going above it. Okay, we are going back above the trend line. So was that a false break and we are now going to perhaps all-time highs? Now that is a possibility, and if that happens, that will put a lot of pressure on the stock market. So watch out where this will close on Monday, because if this closes back above the trend line, that was definitely a false break, and we are going to perhaps new higher highs within the dollar for the dollar index. However, if this is rejected and we close below this, then I expect price to come back down here and come into this daily IC, which is also, if you look at the weekly, is also where the weekly 20 EMA is sitting. Okay, so that will provide some nice level of support if it gets to that level. We're getting divergences again that are created here, so watch out for that. However, as I said, if the dollar keeps going up, I expect the stock market to be pulling back down. Okay, so be very, very careful with that. Next, gold. And what a surprise. We've been talking about this over the last couple of videos, and it finally happened. We were talking about down here how we wanted to buy, and we are targeting this 8-hour IC where we take our profits and perhaps get a short position from. And funny enough, during the CPI data last week, price pulled back up into this 8-hour IC, where now price is starting to pull back down. So what we expect to happen in here, I expect price to perhaps come back here into this 15-minute IC, where I expect to have another short, a long-term short position all the way to this 4-hour IC here, okay, to the previous lower lows. Okay. And at that point, I will just re-examine this and see if we can perhaps get new lower lows. And if we do get some new lower lows, then we'll be looking for more selling pressure to occur over the next couple of months. So watch out for that. And also watch out for the dollar, because if the dollar keeps rising, then it will put a lot of pressure on gold. Next, we've got a really good trade here that we just caught this morning, which is the USD MXN. So all we had here, we had this 8-hour IC here where price has rejected from in the middle of July, and price came perfectly into this 8-hour IC this morning. Now we are getting a lot of divergences that are building here, so we entered the long position just about here this morning. Now I'm expecting to see those previous highs being tested, or perhaps to see new higher highs here. Okay, so that's what I'll be aiming with my take profit. So watch out for this this week. Perhaps you can get a nice long position here. Next, we got the GBP JPY, and this is just an update from last week. Okay, we're talking about we were in a narrowing channel and we're waiting for this to break, and it looks like we may be getting the break of this today. Okay, so watch out and see where will this close today. If we do close below it, then watch out for a retest where you can get a nice short position and aim for those previous lower lows here. So it'll be a very, very long-term trade if this happens, guys. Okay, watch out for this. Lastly, let's talk about Bitcoin. And on Bitcoin, we've been slightly grinding up here. Okay, we've been getting higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Now there's not a lot of money being pumped in Bitcoin at the moment, and you can see that we've been slightly grinding up, but not a lot of momentum. So what I expect to see now, I'm looking for this trend line to be broken. I'm looking for these lows to be taken as well, at which point we'll have a break of structure and a break of trend line, and then a retest of this broken trend line, and we are aiming for 12,000, 13,000 as a level where we perhaps can buy from in the future. Okay, so I still see lower lows here. Okay, coming into the end of the year perhaps. Now lastly, I want to show you this article here from Yahoo Finance, who talks about, well, comes up with this story about Michael Burry. Okay, he was the big short into the 2007 crisis, and he talks about how consumers are running out of money, and talks about the stock market rally being short-lived. So he says that the stock market rally won't last. And this article was published on Friday. So if you do have a read of this article, it talks about how, Americans are basically buying everything on their credit cards, and they are not slowing down their purchases, which in the past this has led to a big recession and a big stock market crash. So if this is to happen again, okay, watch out for this, okay, because this will build up with the consensus that we may be seeing new lower lows coming into the end of the year. Okay, so watch out for that, guys. Okay, it's going to be interesting. That's it from me this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video if you find it useful, and also subscribe to our channel. If you are new to trading or would like to expand your trading skills, we do offer one-to-one mentorship courses. If you are interested, please send us a comment via this video, or send us a message on our Instagram page, and we will get back to you with more details on that. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you have a great week.